It's delicious. Hey guys, Chen here. One of my passions is to cook, and I wanted to share that with you. One of the most tragic things I think that happens is that would-be chefs actually end up giving up because they're so intimidated based on they see unrealistic things on TV, like, you know, maybe you'll see Gordon Ramsay pull out a beautiful looking fish and all he does is just swear, and then magically there's a beautiful looking fish that comes out. But the reason why is because it's fake. They have a lot of producers, the fish is already done, everything's complete, and he kind of comes in and says a few things. That's not to take away that he's not a chef, but a lot of the things that you see on TV isn't realistic. So I wanted to create a series which you can start by, even a beginner could start by just making these simple dishes, and then we'll kind of progress into more advanced stuff. Don't worry if you're advanced, I'll definitely make some more advanced stuff. This is really meant for somebody who has never cooked in their life and then wanted to get some results and some really delicious foods that once you get good at this, it shouldn't take you more than about 15 to 20 minutes, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna start with the ingredients. I'm gonna tell you what I do. Don't get bogged down with the details if you don't have all the ingredients. If you can make it work, just go with it, okay? The first thing is that I have 2 cutting boards, one for meat, one for vegetables. Then I also use a scale. A lot of people don't. I prefer the scale. Don't get bogged in the details if you don't have one of these, okay? Knife, kosher salt. We got some, okay, so then as far as the ingredients, we got ground beef, onion, hamburger patties, nothing fancy, okay? This is all realistic stuff that you can get at pretty much any grocery store. And mayonnaise. Now, some of you might not like mayonnaise, but I encourage you just to try this recipe. And if you just try it once, see if you like it, at least give it a shot, okay? There's a lot of science behind why I use mayonnaise, and I'll explain it later. One more thing, I have pepper. Right here, pepper, in a pepper mill. So, the type of pan I actually just newly discovered this. A lot of people don't know about this. It's called a carbon steel pan. You don't have to use this. Even cast iron would work too. I do encourage you to use cast iron though. That's probably what is found in most kitchens. I'll tell you more about carbon steel later, but for now, don't get bogged down in the details. If you have a cast iron pan, just use that, okay? I got this over on 6. Every kitchen's different. You might have to play with it. Cooking is a science. You have to try. If it doesn't work, you make adjustments and then see how it could be improved, okay? For me, on my stove, I have it at 6. Okay, so I have here, look, you don't have to use any of these materials. I'm just a food geek. This tells you the temperature. The reason why I'm pointing this out is because I want to reiterate throughout my series, cooking is a science. And so the temperature is at around 460-ish degrees, okay? So I have a hamburger bun, nothing special, okay? Just grab the bottom of the bun. I'm gonna get 3 of them, okay? Because I'm gonna make 3 hamburgers. Let me kind of tell you what we're gonna do. I'm gonna toast these so it's hard. Then I'm gonna put mayonnaise on top. We'll put some pepper. We'll of course spread it. This is gonna be the landing pad for the hamburger. The hamburger actually, when it's done cooking, has a lot of juices that comes off. Now remember, oil and water separate. So the mayonnaise actually protects the bun from getting soggy, and it'll actually create a mixture with the mayonnaise to create a sauce or maybe a gravy of some sorts, okay? Just trust me. Now, 6 might be a little bit too high. You can put it at 5 when you just toast the bun, but when you cook the meat, it's gonna be at 6, okay? So I just leave it there, just keep an eye on it, give it maybe about 30 seconds, 15 seconds. If you smell burning, it's too long, okay? A part of cooking is using your senses. You'll smell things, you'll see things, you'll hear things. All of these things give you feedback as to how the food is doing and what kind of adjustments you need to do, okay? Okay, so these buns were actually toasted a little bit too much. Next time I'd probably put it on 5, but that's a part of the senses. It is a little bit too burned, but that's okay. This really won't be a problem. You want it to be toasted where it feels kind of hard, but not to where it's turned black. Brown is okay. Okay, so onion peeled. I just had an onion laying around in the kitchen, so I'm just gonna use that. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. All right, your knife, okay? The way I cut vegetables, everyone has their own way of doing it. Generally, most people are gonna say you protect your fingers, the fingertips, with your knuckles, okay? And then just measure about where it's at. If your knife is sharp enough, and even if you don't have a very good knife and you don't know how to sharpen it yet, it's okay. Just work with what you got, okay? We'll learn about all that stuff later. Okay, so a part of this series and what I'm doing, I'm gonna make mistakes, but it's realistic. That's what I wanna show you, because I don't want you to look at those celebrities. They do it, they never make mistakes. People who become great chefs, they make tons of mistakes and they make adjustments based off of that. So yes, I burned the bun a little bit. That's okay. Next time we'll turn it down to 4 or 5, put that bun on, take it off, then crank it back to 6. Okay? All right, now as far as meat, it is actually, I'm gonna be honest, it is important that your meat patties are actually similar in surface area and size or in weight, because that affects how it cooks. Now, if you don't have it, just do the best you can. Don't let that stop you from going, okay? You don't have to invest in these expensive things until you know you have an interest in cooking, and then you can invest, and then you know precisely exactly how much you need. So the way I do this, the meat, to me, I like it around between 5 to 6 ounces of meat. So I prefer grams, but I learned everything kind of in ounces, and so we'll do ounces, okay? So we'll start with this. Just grab some of this. This beef is actually 80-20. 80-20, the 20% is how, it's a measurement of how lean and how fatty it is. And 80-20 is more fatty than a 90-10. So it's okay. It makes hamburgers taste good. So, okay, so I'm gonna turn this around and show you what it says, okay? So this is my first time filming in my kitchen. We're trying to move things around. I'm gonna be realistic, and so I only had enough meat for 2 patties. You know, sometimes you just don't have enough. I thought I was gonna have 3, I only had 2. So we'll just make 2, okay? Now, wash your hands, okay? I got some soap in my hands. Okay, so this is a part of where skill comes in. You just have to grab a big pinch of kosher salt. As you do this, you're gonna find out exactly how much salt visually and how much it feels when you put in that kosher salt in there, okay? I can't give you an exact amount because this is just a skill that you'll have to develop. If I were to estimate, I wouldn't estimate. You'll just have to kind of play with it, okay? Pinch of kosher salt, pinch it in. For me, depending on your finger size, the way I pinch it is like this. Okay? So now we're gonna just form the patties, okay? Gotta mix that salt in there, so we're kind of mixing it up. You don't want that salt to just be in one area and create a bomb, okay? So now a lot of people, for some reason, a lot of people when they make hamburgers, they put in all this ground beef into a big bowl, and then they put egg and all this random stuff in there. That's really how you make meatloaf. But as far as a hamburger patty, you want beef and just a little bit of salt, and really you want to taste that hamburger beefy taste. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. I just kind of flatten it out. You want to kind of make a little circle. Okay, I kind of pick it up a little bit, just make sure it's not falling apart, which this one kind of is. It's okay as long as overall you can pick it up and put it into the pan, okay? Now I do like to create a little divot because I like onion with mine, and when we put it on top, it's gonna kind of caramelize the onion. Now, if your onion's too big like this one is, you can kind of take a layer out, and so that way it fits right in the divot. Okay? Okay, just mixing the meat up so that the salt isn't concentrated in one area. Okay, we're gonna flatten it out. Use my other hand to kind of guide like a template. You don't want to squeeze too hard. Just kind of gently form it into a patty. When you put meat down, you always put it down this way and away, because if there's oil, it's gonna splash all over you, okay? This one doesn't have oil, but just to let you know how you put meat down. Leave it there for 4 minutes, don't touch it. You'll kind of get a feel of just how much mayonnaise you need to put. You want to just kind of a slight layer, enough to where, if you think about the science behind it, if when the meat juices go in there, you want just enough oil so that it repels the meat juices. And it's also your personal preference too, if you like more or if you like less. Okay, and then we add a little bit of pepper. As Thomas Keller would say, acid enhances, salt enhances, pepper changes. So, okay. All right, we're gonna flip it, okay? Oh, that looks gorgeous. The color that you're looking for when you cook is going to be brown, golden brown to be exact. So I messed up a little bit here, but of course I'm being realistic here. Sometimes you'll mess up, next time I'll fix that. Okay, set it for 4 minutes. Okay, I turned the heat off. I think these are ready. This is how I do it. This is a little bit of a treat. It's all crusty. It tastes good. It's seared meat. Now, we're just gonna put the tops on. You can actually toast the tops too. So we can cut the top of the buns. That beef gave off some really delicious oil, or rendered beef fat, and so you can toast your buns with that. Just be cautious, because you can burn it pretty quick, so just got to keep an eye on it, smell it, hear it, look at it. But really what you're looking for is when you feel it, the bread's going to feel a little hard rather than soft. And that's when you know that it's being cooked. Okay, so what this is telling me is that most of the oil got on the outside because it wasn't even, but that's okay. Now, just try it like that. So do you remember that piece that I messed up on? Essentially, that's the seared part of the meat. We call this the Maillard reaction. A lot of complex stuff happens, but the end result is that it tastes really good, okay? Meat drippings has, salt, and there, a lot of complex chemistry happens, and then it turns out real crispy, oily, and it just, Has a real delicious taste to it. It's delicious. You got like the caramelized onion, the beef, it's all nice and salty, and then you got that gravy. Really give it a try. Tell me how you like it. If you do it, comment below. Okay? See you next time. Thanks, and if you enjoyed this, be sure to subscribe, like, comment on my videos. It's gonna help encourage me to make more, okay? Thanks.